Hi, it's Roberta with Quilt Crafters Corner. Today we're going to do a block. It's called Bridal Path. Now, this is it's a unique block, and got a lot of little pieces in it. So let's take a look at this block and I'll show you how to put it together. Okay, here is the block. This is called Bridal Path, and as you can see, it's kind of got this trails that go through it and form an X through the middle of it. So let's start with the center block, and the center block starts with 2.5-inch squares, and they are placed like this. Now, to make these little ones here, you're going to need a 6-inch by 1.5 inches, two of the light color and then one of the medium color. So I will take those to the machine and sew them. Okay, I have my strips sewn together. Now what I do is I've pushed the seam towards the darker fabric there, and on the white it doesn't really matter. So now I'm just going to put these face to face, right sides together, nest my seam, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these 1.5 inches wide. So there's one block, there's two, there's three, and there's four. So now I will take these to the machine and I will sew them. And in doing this, I want to make sure that I sew them so that my dark blue square is meeting towards the center one. So placement of your material is really important here. So let's go. I will go sew these and bring them back. Okay, so I've sewn my four patches together, and what I've done is I've spun my seams in the back because I want to reduce the amount of bulk there on those. And they're just going to go here and here and up here and here. So now what I'll do is I will pull these over and take them to the machine and sew them. And I'll take all of those over and sew them. Okay, so there's my center block, and as you can see, I've got all of my points matching there. So we're going to build the block around that. So we'll put that off to the side. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to build the 9 patches for the outer corners. And in order to do this, I need two of the medium blue at 12 inches long by 1.5 inches. Same, I need one white one, 1.5 inches by 12. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to line these up and take that to the machine and sew it. Now for the center one, I need the blue in the center and then the white on the outside. So what I'll do is I will sew those also. All right, I will take that to the machine and sew it. Okay, so I have sewn my strips together, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to nest these right together, and I'm going to cut them at the same time. Now I'm going to get 4 out of the short one, and I'm going to get 8 out of the long one. So there's the start of one. Two, 3. And there's 4. Now I'm going to cut the last of them. And these will finish the 9 patch. All right, so I will take those to the machine and I will put these all together. Okay, here are the 9 patches. They are all finished. Now those are going to go in the corners. All right, the last part of this block are the Flying Geese units. And sometimes the Flying Geese units can be the trickiest ones to do. So let's take a look at that and let me show you how to put the Flying Geese units together. The Flying Geese units start with a 3.5 by 6.5 rectangle and then 3.5 squares. And you're going to place them on each side. Place one on the side, and then with my pen, I'm going to draw my line. Now, because this pen is an air erase pen, that line's, once I've sewn it, and probably in half hour or so, that line will disappear. So if you're going to mark your fabric, make sure you sew it quickly and don't leave it for too long, otherwise you'll have to mark it again. So I will take that to the machine and I will sew it. Now, once I have sewn this, I will take my ruler and I will line up my 1/4 inch seam on the sew line and then just cut off my excess. And then what I'll do is I'll take this to the iron and press this so that I could place my second one. So let me go press this and I will show you how the second one goes on. So there's my unit, half of it, and now I'm going to take my ruler and go from point to point. And with the air erase pen, I'm going to draw my line. And now this is going to be placed like so. And then what I'll do is I'll sew on into this side, just right on that side of the line so that my fabric has room to fold over. So I've sewn this and now I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to cut the excess off. And now I have my Flying Geese unit. And there's one. Okay, so here are my 4 Flying Geese units, and they are just going to be placed right in here like this. And there's our block. Now, this is really an interesting block because you can do some really interesting things with it, because it can be placed on a diagonal like this and then use what we call a linking block to go with it. And so this could just go right like that and right like that. And look at how clever that is. And then you have this diagonal effect for your block. So that's today's block. It's called Bridal Path. I want to thank you all for watching, and leave me a comment. I'd love to know what you think about this. Show me your blocks. I'd love to see what you do with this block. So thank you for watching, and we will see you again next time.